What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Optimus Fantasy Football Mailbag Show and Podcast. I have the wrong background up, man. We should probably switch that one over, huh? Let's get that over to the right one. Look, it's been a long week. This is my 6th show of the week. I'm tired. I'm ready to watch some football. But more than anything, we are here to answer your questions relating to fantasy football week 3. Matt, before we get some questions going here, let's talk about kind of what we're looking at this week. We're looking at no Cooper Kupp, no Puka Nacua, no Raheem Mostert, no Russell Wilson, no Deebo Samuel, no CMC. And that's just like off of the top of my head here. I could sit and probably read a list. Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze. I do have a list. David Njoku. On the practice report Wednesday for the Packers, just for the Packers, Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft.
Joe Mixon, Justin Herbert
Mixon
with
is
a ankle
hurt.
sprain.
Herbert's going to play. You saw his ankle. They put all of the tape on that ankle. Because I don't even know who the backup is in San Diego right now. Can't even think of it off the top of my head.
Probably Easton Stick, but it doesn't matter. You shouldn't be playing. You probably shouldn't be playing Justin Herbert, so his backup's out.
Yeah, I know that's a good point. I have him QB 24, 23 this week. So yeah, I wouldn't be rolling him out unless it's 2 QB. Albert Merrican dropped in the chat saying, hello, everyone. Albert, this is the second time today I've seen you. It is a pleasure. Thank you for tuning in. Mr. Craig Ruth, the king of the GIF. He says, hey, everyone. I love the Greg Dortch, Abby, for your YouTube. Pick one. Nakobe Dean or Pete Werner? Ugh, Pete Werner. Ha! Love it. I've got Robert Mitchell dropping in the chat saying, what is new, guys? Well, Robert, it is Friday. I'm just about an hour fresh off of the DFS show with Mike Reedy. I'm looking forward to the weekend. We've got football to talk about. We want your questions, guys, so please start dropping those in the chat. But while we're waiting, I'm going to remind you, please, while you're here, like this video and subscribe to the Optimus Fantasy Football channel. The more subs, the more content we can bring to you. So help us keep doing what we want to do. And I'm going to remind you guys, if you have start-sit questions this Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, I will be on Reddit, the subreddit Fantasy Football, answering all of your start-sit questions right up until kickoff. We had 1,200 last week, Matt. So it is a barrage, but it is fun and we love it. We just want to help you guys win. Jerry Bagshaw in the chat saying, hi all, what is up, Jerry? We have Craig saying that is a valid answer. All right, we'll take it. And then Abraham Pena dropping in here with a question. Would you drop Bigsby or McLaughlin for Cam Akers? I have Javonte as my RB2 since K9 is out. If I pick up Akers, would you rather start him or Javonte? So first, I'm saying drop McLaughlin for Akers. He has less upside. Broncos offense is absolutely atrocious. I want no part of it. None. Not a single one. Get Cam Akers because he fits into that offense the way that Joe Mixon fits into that offense. He's going to get the yards if Mixon is out. And even if Mixon isn't out, if he's on a limited snap count, Akers is going to get the work. Dameon Pierce is going to get touches. Now, would you start him over Javonte?
No, and to be honest, if I'm keeping Javonte, I'd want to keep McLaughlin too. I might be okay with getting rid of Bigsby for Cam Akers, but Cam Akers might be a 1-week rental, and we don't even know if he's going to be playing above Dare Gumbawale, who probably outsnapped him last week.
He's going to be playing above Dare. He's playing above Dare.
But look, if you drop McLaughlin and Javonte gets hurt, then you're going to be stuck with a bunch of handcuffs that you're not going to be able to start. So I would at least keep McLaughlin with Javonte. That's just how I would want to see it.
Okay, so here's what I say. I don't want either one.
Fair enough.
What was Williams' stat line last week? It was like 11 carries for like 14 yards. It was atrocious. He can't get it done behind that offensive line. And you can't get it done when your quarterback is someone that you're never going to convince a defense is going to throw more than they're going to run the ball.
But I think 6 targets for a running back is a starting running back in a pinch.
Sure. All right.
And if it's not Javonte, it'll be McLaughlin.
Okay, fair enough. Jerry Bagshaw wants to know, do you guys think Russell Wilson will take over for Fields by week 5? What do you think, Matt?
I think as long as they keep winning ugly games, they're going to keep doing what they're doing.
That was exactly what I was going to say. So they keep winning, it's going to continue to be Fields. We've got Mr. Scampers hopping in the chat here saying, good afternoon, Nate and Matt, our favorite fantasy cat. Thank you so much for being here. Jamie Parag, friend of the show, saying, hi, Optimus. It is wonderful to see you, Jamie. Thanks for tuning in. Mr. Scamper saying, speaking of which, Dortch also popped up on the injury report. Saw that. Did you see that, Matt? It seems pretty minor.
No. Okay.
Yeah, it seemed seemed pretty minor. Great matchup for Dortch if he can play. And actually, yes, Mr. Scampers, I've talked about that with Casey Kasem yesterday. Mike Reedy and I talked about that today. And Jamie's got a question for us. Need to decide between Monty or Najee in full PPR this week.
Give me the guy that scores twice as many points every week.
I'm taking Monty all day.
For sure.
All day, every day. Yeah. So let's get back to some of these injuries, Matt, and where we think we're going to pivot. The first one I want to talk about, because this is probably the most affected wide receiver room in the league right now, Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. Both of them are out this week. Kupp is listed as doubtful, which we know what that means. So he's not playing. So what do you do here? If you're a manager of one of these two guys, right?
You panic.
You do. You panic. Are you going after Demarcus Robinson? Because he's still pretty widely available right now. Tyler Johnson, widely available. Do you think either one of those guys can pick up enough volume with these two out to be fantasy relevant, at least this week or this week and next?
Tyler Johnson has shown something in the preseason. Jordan Whittington has shown something in the preseason. Demarcus Robinson has shown something in the starting lineup last year. So I'm going to go with the guy who's done it before, who has a little bit more rapport with the team, with the game plan, with the quarterback. I'll go with Demarcus Robinson, as unfun as that is.
Winning is fun. So regardless of the player, I've seen people wanting to talk about Jordan Whittington, and I keep telling them, like, come on, man. No. Like, is he a fun player? Does he have beautiful hair? This is an all beautiful hair team. Jordan Whittington, put him right in there with Greg Dulcich and Sam Hartman from Notre Dame. It's not on an NFL roster. I think for me, it's going to be Demarcus Robinson. Tyler Johnson's a close second. I think he's a boom potential guy where he could get a couple of like deep throws and score a touchdown or two. I mean, really, if I can, I'm pivoting other places. I'm going after guys like Greg Dortch because he's like 15% rostered somewhere around there on ESPN.
So Dortch is a hamstring and he's questionable for Sunday.
Okay. I still think he plays.
An eye. Okay.
Yeah, keep an eye. We've got another question in the chat here from Robert Mitchell. Robert, thank you so much for the question. How much do you guys value a handcuff player? I have Kyron Riley in starting, but Corum is a cuff. I wanted to go get Darnell Mooney off of free agency. I also have Josh Jacobs and Dobbins in the flex.
I think Corum's upside is just so much higher than Darnell Mooney's. We've seen some fun stuff from Mooney. I think he got 20 points last week. Yeah. It's not reliable. I think that they're going to struggle when they're not targeting Pitts, which they're not doing. And, as much as I like having a balance on my team and you've got two nice running backs in the flex with Jacobs and Dobbins, I'm still going to go with Corum because if Kyron Williams goes down, you won't miss a beat because Corum's going to be just as good starting for you.
Yep. Yeah, no, 100%. And that's what I'm for handcuffs. Situations I've never been for handcuffs. We're going to go back to Minnesota. I've never handcuffed Madison to Dalvin Cook, not once, because it wasn't the same, right? You maybe got, if there's one game, if you needed Madison for one game, he could produce. But the minute you asked him to go a second game back to back in place of Dalvin Cook, everything went down. His efficiency went down, his yardage went down. So it wasn't same to same. But in this situation, Corum is going to do what Kyron does. So I like it. We have Craig asking a real question for this week.
Uh-oh.
Anthony Richardson or Caleb Williams? Craig, are you trying to tell us you've been kidnapped? I'm going Richardson this week.
Yeah, I'll go with the 30-plus point guy instead of the minus 10-point guy or sub 10-point guy.
There will be a point this season when I will say, let's fire up Caleb Williams over Anthony Richardson, I think. But I hope
you're right.
I think we're talking week 10, dude. I don't think we're talking anytime soon.
Are you saying Shane Waldron gets fired in week 9? Is that your prediction?
Let's hope.
Let's hope.
Fun fact from Craig Ruth on Greg Dortch: 2 hamstrings. So now Jerry Bagshaw wants to know if we think Jordan Love plays this week. I know he's been at practice. I don't think they roll him out. Malik Willis was fine last week. He was good enough to get you by another week. So I would pivot away from it. Bagshaw wants to know AR or Baker this week. Ooh. I'm taking Baker.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm not mad at you. You can do either one. Baker's QB1 right now. So ride the hot hand.
Baker isn't just QB1. He's QB1 by a fair amount. And they've got Denver this week. That defense is we were told that defense was going to be good. Patrick Surtain's good. Alex Singleton has been okay. They're not really getting pressure. Baker Mayfield's going to have a field day. He's going to throw over 300 yards and like 4 tutties against this defense.
Baker may have a field day.
Baker will have a field day, though. That's the thing.
Baker Willfield.
All right, so we're going to move away from the questions here for just a minute, Mr. Chester, and I want to talk about that Monday night game. Now, I know it's Friday, and we've already had week 3 football on Thursday. Kirk Cousins, that last drive for Atlanta, he looked like an injured Kirk Cousins, a guy coming back from an Achilles for 3.5 quarters. That last drive, he looked like primetime Kirk in a good way. Leads the Falcons back.
Anytime but primetime Kirk.
Right. Anytime. Yes, he looked like 4 p.m. Sunday Kirk. That's what we'll call him.
He looked like noon after church Kirk Cousins.
Early slate Kirk Cousins. He looked like early slate Kirk Cousins. All right. So here's my question. I'm asking this because I'm getting a lot of questions about this in various places this week. How are we feeling about Kirk Cousins? Do you think that last drive is a harbinger of what's to come from him in this Falcons offense? Or was that a 2-minute drill, hyper-efficient drive from Kirk Cousins that he's not going to be able to continue to replicate quite yet this season?
I don't think he's going to do that every 2 minutes that he's on the field, but I think that's what happens when he gets out of his own head and he's just forced to do what he's been trained to do for the last 49 years of his life, and he's going to be good at it again. So
you think he's back?
I think the confidence is coming back. I think that was huge for him to get that last 2 minutes. We watched Aaron Rodgers panic in the first 2 weeks, and then this week we watched him feel a little bit more comfortable on his shaky leg and be able to take his time. Yeah. And he was precise. And I think once they get their mentals back, Aaron Rodgers is going to be back. Kirk Cousins is going to be back.
Yeah, I'm not super high on Cousins this week because they're playing Kansas City, and that defense is the reason they've been good. Yeah. I have him at QB 20, and I feel fairly confident in that. I'll start him in 2 QB leagues. He's my QB1 in one of the Kings Classic leagues because I punted quarterback. I was trying to prove a point to Ian Hartitz and Rich Rebar. It was stupid. But I'm excited for like week 5, week 6 when Kirk Cousins is in full swing. I'll start him in 2 QB leagues this week. I'm not starting him in 1 QB leagues. The rest of this offense, though, you mentioned Kyle Pitts. What about Kyle Pitts?
When are they going to figure it out? I don't know.
Okay, but at a certain point, don't you start to wonder, like, is there something we don't know about Kyle Pitts? Like, we're sitting here, like, this guy is a freaking unicorn. He's like Brock Bowers, but bigger, with longer arms and faster. Mm-hmm. And we see what Brock Bowers is doing right now on a team that I didn't think he was going to be able to pull this off on just because of the personnel around him. And you and I talked about it multiple times this offseason. I was not taking him in rookie drafts. I was staying away from him at cost. I regret that now.
I traded my only dynasty Brock Bowers that I just kind of ended up with. I traded him for Hawkinson and a first and a second. And it's a best ball league, so I just took the shots on the extra.
Sure. Kyle Pitts' ceiling is tight end 1 overall. We all know that. Or is it?
No, it is.
Because then why aren't these Falcons teams using him? Like, what is it we're not seeing?
Well, we know why last year. It
was Arthur Smith's scheme, and it just didn't work. He was hurt. They hid an MCL injury. The Falcons got fined last year for lying about injuries, and through the whole year they hid his knee injury. So we were hoping that he would be fully healthy, out of the Arthur Smith dump truck,
and we haven't seen it yet. I don't know why. They've used him more in line as blocking. I'm not giving up.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
I need him. I need him to be relevant. I need him where I drafted him in rookie drafts those years. Like, he's just sitting there. He had one good year. Let's hope he's healthy. Let's hope that once Kirk Cousins gets back to being 100% Kirk Cousins of old, I think we see Kyle Pitts get a lot more involved because he's the exact kind of receiver he loves to target. What about Drake London?
Do you think he's here to stay? What did he get? 15, 17 points this last game?
Yeah, I don't know. Because I think that I don't know that Kirk Cousins knows. I think Kirk Cousins likes Darnell Mooney, and he's feeling that out. I think he's had some success with Ray McLeod the last couple of weeks, and he's feeling that out too. So I'm not sure. I mean, Drake London is obviously supposed to be the alpha in this offense, but what if it ends up just kind of being all three and then Kyle Pitts and Bijan?
You know what's funny? Their flex players are their pass catchers are levelized. They're stratified, right? So you've got Darnell Mooney, you've got Ray McLeod, and then you've got London, who's on the earth, and then you've got Kyle Pitts, who's under the earth. Right? Is that a thing? All right.
I guess it is now.
We're spitballing.
It's what we do here. We got a question in the chat. We're going to get to some of these here real quick. Mr. Scampers wants to know Akers at Minnesota or Deontay at Vegas. I'm benching Waddle and waiting a week on my Carson Steele stash. I wish this was like week 2 or week 3 if Andy Dalton's starting, because then it would be easy. Yeah. I'd say Deontay. However, I think if Akers plays this week, and Mixon is out, I'm probably going to start Akers here. Deontay Johnson and Andy Dalton are new to each other. They're going to need to work some stuff out. And Vegas's defense is actually pretty decent. And Carolina's offensive line sucks. So I don't know how much Dalton's going to be able to really get the ball out of his hands to a guy like Deontay accurately enough to make catches this week.
So I'm not going to bank on Cam Akers having the Joe Mixon role. And even in the Joe Mixon role, Joe Mixon got like 3 points last week.
Sure.
I just have trouble with Cam Akers this week. If you have to bench Waddle, and I understand, Deontay's not a bad option. Andy Dalton knows how to play the game. And
he does. I know that. I know.
He played with North Carolina last year. He started one game, and he had 30 points. And I think they came off with a win.
Okay.
Dalton's good. And you know what?
I know
Deontay Johnson's good. And it's 2 veterans on a very young team. I think Deontay's okay for a dart throw right now if you're going to bench Waddle.
All right. Now, Psych Ward, another Matt, popping in the chat. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. That Jester boy be handsome as the day is long. Goddamn, it's true. He's pretty. Wait till you see him in person, people. Come to the expo next year. James Ravine. Hey, guys, would you rather flex Ford, Dell, or Waddle this week?
Damn, this Waddle hate is hurting my heart.
Hey, dude, I don't think it's not Waddle hate. It's situation hate, and I don't think anyone really believes that anyone outside of Tyreek and Johnny Smith is going to really get targeted by Skylar Thompson.
It's Skylar Thompson, and Skylar is not on that stratification sphere. He's subterranean Thompson.
Yep. Yeah, no, definitely. I'm going to say Dell.
Yeah, sure. Why not? You know what? He's due. I think between those three receivers, it's something like 12 targets, 11 targets, 10 targets. Nico and Stephon Diggs each have 2 touchdowns. Dell has none. It's time for a little bit of positive regression. I'm happy going with Dell. It's going to happen soon.
And I think that this is the first time Dell's really been like super healthy. So Craig Roos saying, yes, who've kidnapped him? Please send help. Damn it, who? Go work on your article.
It's going to be fun. You have fun there.
Yeah. Jamie Parag, what can I sell Braylon Allen for in Dynasty right now? Chester.
Why?
Yeah. For a second, but why? Don't sell him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm in a team that's about to turn the corner, and I need an RB2, and he might be the guy.
2 games, 2 touchdowns, oldest to youngest. I think, dude, if you're Aaron Rodgers, isn't there a party that wants to keep that up? Like, I'm the oldest player in the league, and I'm going to throw like 20 touchdown passes to the 20-year-old.
He did
I don't
love
know.
Shailene Woodley, so yeah, I can see that kind of connection happening.
Good point. Good point. Robert Mitchell, apparently you love our humor. Thank God he said that was good. Somebody laughs at us because I know our significant others don't always. Christopher Sowers, he wants to know to start CJ Stroud or AR-15 this week. I'm starting AR for the boom.
Mm-hmm. There's no question in a 4-point passing touchdown league. 6-point, I'm still going AR.
Yeah. Mr. Scamper saying, I love Waddle. Took him in the second round. Hurts my heart. Yeah. He'll be back. When Tyler Huntley gets up to speed and is a starter in 2 weeks, we're going to have less concern about guys like Waddle, Hill, and Smith.
2022 Pro Bowl Tyler Huntley.
Exactly. Who has been efficient when he has started. He's the most experienced, active quarterback on this roster. He will be starting as soon as he's up to speed. Mike McDaniel's no dummy. And with the talent that Huntley has, like it's backup talent. We know that. But we've seen in the past what good coaching can do with backup talent. Look at Josh Dobbs last season and Kevin O'Connell. It worked until it didn't, right? But when it worked really, really well. And I think you can get similar results out of Huntley from Mike McDaniel. I don't see any reason why not. And Jamie's saying because he's loaded at running back and likes to capitalize on the hype. I mean, I do get that. But think about it this way, Jamie. He's 20 years old. By the time he is the age of most of the guys that we're talking about as younger buys in the running back community, he'll be 4 seasons into his career. Think about that. Just think about that value. If he's still kicking in this league in 4 years and he's still fantasy relevant, you got him for next to nothing. Yeah.
That's the thing. You bought him for
the 4th round.
You could sell him for a second. Right now, is he worth that much more than Jalen Wright? That's what I'm saying. Where are they? They're hand in hand. So you have a boat. Don't buy a ticket for a boat. You know what I mean?
Yep. I really like Braylon Allen in this offense. I didn't think we'd see as much of him as we've seen, but him and Brees can apparently live in this offense together. I don't think it's going to be a problem. So,
right.
You know what I wish we had more problems with? Picking tight ends to start because there were just so many that were good. However, let's talk about
this year. We're finally deep at tight end.
Yeah, finally. We're gonna talk about the tight end landscape because it's disgusting. Here are my rankings this week, Matt, which I would like to point out. I am now a part of Fantasy Pros ECR very proudly. So I am scored on my ranks against every other analyst that are a part of ECR. I was number 6 overall in quarterbacks last week. And number 15. And I made Linda proud. I was number 15 in kickers.
Hell yeah.
I need to let the happy hour chat know about that.
Am I allowed to say how out of how many?
200.
Oh my Lord, that's awesome. And you were 6 and 15 at 2 different positions?
Yeah. Here's the problem, though. I was so bad at wide receiver, running back, and tight end that I finished 187 overall.
That's fine.
It's fine, man. I'm still honing my process with this.
Is it because were you a Baker and Carr believer early? Is that why you're so good at QB?
I'm good at QB because I only missed by like 15, 20 points. It was just I've been dead on quarterback most of the season. Nice. You'd think I'd be more on with tight end because it's the position I talk about the most, right? This is where my rankings are this week, and I am just like praying that this works out because I've got Sam Laporta at tight end 2, Brock Bowers at tight end 1. I like the matchup against Arizona. I'm only 2 points higher than ECR on him this week. And then I've got Dalton Kincaid at number 3. I mean, he's back he's back in the 20s, but I feel like against Jacksonville, this is a game where he could go off. Jacksonville doesn't really have anything to counter Kincaid. Their secondary is all right. I think they can cover Khalil Shakir.
I don't know if Buffalo's going to want to pass after the first quarter when they're up 20.
That's fine. Kincaid gets 2 touchdowns. I think look, this can't last forever, right? So I've got Kincaid at 3. I've got George Kittle at 4, which I think is valid given the situation right now in San Francisco.
Oh, George Kittle might be out. George Kittle's doubtful.
I know he's doubtful, but I'm praying that he stays in. Okay. I got Kyle Pitts at 5, Mark Andrews at 6.
Man, I'd want to get crazy with it. If you're
I probably will. Look, my rankings aren't done. I have a lot of tweaking to do. I did these on Tuesday.
Jonnu Smith, Like you might as well go shoot for the moon when you're going tight end right now, because who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah. KJ Frederick, speaking of tight ends, has a question in the chat. He wants to know better tight end to start, Strange or Gesicki, full PPR.
Gesicki almost broke the map with his physicals coming into the league. He's never quite made it situationally. He's
what
there.
What are you
right
talking
now.
about?
He's never been the guy, and he's always had the capability of being the guy. He's going to be the guy there right now, especially if T. Higgins is out. Gesicki's going to go ham again this week. I'd put him in top 5. Yeah,
I'd put Gesicki in top 5 too. Dude,
you're going to take those
2020 and 2021, tight end 7 and tight end 9.
Okay,
he had his moment in Miami where I think that's why, like, the last 2 seasons, I was like, come on, dude. I know we can get the right situation for you, because it wasn't going to be Miami. That offense changed, and it wasn't going to feature him anymore. Tyreek Hill ruined his value in fantasy if he's going to stay in Miami. I thought New England was going to be it. They had Bill O'Brien come in. Him and Henry seemed like that perfect 1-2 tandem that O'Brien loved to run the late 2010s with Gronk and with Aaron Hernandez. Didn't work out. They're actually using him the right way in Cincinnati. He's more of a slot guy. He's like Kyle Pitts, where he's more built like a receiver. You don't want him to block too much because he's just not good at it. But throw him the ball all day. This season so far, 9 targets last week, 7 catches, 91 yards. Hasn't scored a touchdown, but he's the overall tight end 6 in PPR. So, Jimmy Parag.
Touchdown.
Yeah. No. Okay, I'll hold on, but in 4 years, if I can't get a vote from him, I'm coming back angry. Good luck finding us. We'll be living in like Peru.
And since you can't find one.
Yeah. Braylon might be the biggest NFL miss since Brock Purdy fantasy-wise.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, since Purdy, Puka was, clearly.
James Robinson.
Oh, yeah. Good call.
Mm-hmm. Chris Sowers wants to know Gesicki or Schultz.
Gesicki, yeah.
Yep. Not even close. KJ Frederick says, thanks. I know Trevor Lawrence loves to target his tight end, but Gesicki is hot right now. Yeah. And he hasn't been hyper targeting Evan Ingram so far this season. So,
Evan Ingram's been out, and Evan Ingram is going to be out this week also. So that's why he's asking about Brenton Strange, but Gesicki does it.
Yep. Stonks wants to know, should I trade JT Mason and Waddle for Kyron and HA, not PPR? My best running back after Mason is Swift. No. I wouldn't.
I don't know, man.
If
Waddle's not going to perform, if Mason is temporary,
Waddle's just not going to perform for the next 2 weeks. Once Tyler Huntley's in there, he'll be fine.
So Waddle, I don't know about. Mason is going to be very good for another 6 weeks. He might be the best piece in that side. JT is not getting any passing down work. He's got probably a 15-point floor and ceiling. Kyron has the same. Kyron and JT right now in seasonal is fine. 8, I would trade Mason and Waddle for Achane in Dynasty or in redraft for sure.
Okay, so yes, tight calf for Gesicki. He is actually, in fact, questionable this week. So he was limited again today. I spent too much time writing these damn show sheets. Andre wants to know, what do you think of a package of Wilson and Ridley? Could it get him Amon-Ra? I think so. I mean, Ridley's just kind of a toss-in. I don't know if they're a Titans fan.
Ridley is a toss-in that's outperforming Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, but not for long.
It's an interesting package for sure.
Yeah, it would get you Amon-Ra.
You've got a high-end potential in Wilson, and you've got a gross name in Ridley that's overperforming. Yeah, go for it, man. Let us know how it goes.
Yeah, I'm all about getting Amon-Ra. What's good for Amon-Ra is good for all of us, Matt. I mean, it's just the truth. Lunch Table Legend dropping in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us today. We love legends on this show. Geno, Stroud, or Jaden Daniels? Leading Geno because the others seem like big trap games against tough defenses. Chester, where are you on this one?
Good context. It looks like Geno and the Seahawks have figured it out. If he can do what he did last week, you're going to get another 22 points again.
Yep.
Stroud, that's his ceiling, and I don't know how often he's seen it. Jay Daniels that's his ceiling, and we're hopeful. But because of the defenses, you laid out a good context. Geno, good, go for it.
Yeah, I'm all about it. Geno Smith is currently QB9. Jaden Daniels is QB6, but again, dictating matchups, and it seems like Geno's kind of figuring it out, and they are in Seattle. So I'd go the same way here. Zach Za 215. Would you trade McConkey for Roman Shaheed for JS? McConkey for Roman Shaheed for JSN and Dynasty full PPR?
Both of those sides, yeah. You get rid of McConkey and Shaheed, get JSN and Rome.
Yep, 100%. Dusto wants to know, wondering if I should flex Higgins over London. Higgins said he's going to play, but wonder if it's still risky to start him over London.
When's the last time you felt good? When's the last time you felt good flexing Higgins?
Never, really.
Never.
No, I wouldn't flex him.
Probably not once over 4 years.
Yeah, no. All right, man. We have answered some questions. It's Friday. We're going to get the people on their way. But before we do, I just want to remind everyone who is tuned in, thank you so much. Please make sure you like this video and subscribe to the Optimus Fantasy Football channel here on YouTube. If you're watching us on Twitch, hit that sub button. We appreciate it so much. Anywhere else that you are watching, make sure that you are following us. If you are listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, CastBox, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, any of your favorite platforms, please make sure to follow us and download those episodes. Guys, you can catch us on Sunday on Reddit, our fantasy football. It is the subreddit to end all subreddits. It is busier than the Harry Potter subreddit, and I'm not kidding. Those are facts. I will be answering start-sit questions with Casey Kasem from 11 a.m. Eastern up until kickoff. We will help you get your lineup set. Guys, we had 1,200 questions last week, so get in early. I will get that post up about an hour ahead of time so you can start throwing those questions in. Matt, are you ready for the weekend? You ready for some football?
I'm so ready.
I know, man. I am too. People are ready too. Toronto Dave saying fantastic show. Dave, thanks for tuning in, man. We appreciate it. Jerry Bagshaw, good luck this week, guys. Thank you, Jerry. Robert Mitchell, great show. Enjoy your evening. Robert, enjoy your evening as well, guys. For Matt Chester, I am Nate Polvogt. It has been a pleasure podcasting with you guys this week. I will see you on Tuesday with Mike Reedy for Waiver Wire and more.